Hello and welcome once again to another Love Live solo song ranking for Just Believe. I'm Callan.
And I'm Honey Panda Bunny.
So this album is a long time coming. A lot of the songs have been built up actually in the games with the Bond stories. And I would say that I'm not necessarily sure whether it's their best album, but collectively I think it is quite a strong group of songs. I did find that this one was incredibly difficult to rank, especially compared to the previous ones, because I found it very easy in the first two albums to kind of associate numbers. And while I had a very clear number one, I found it very difficult from 2 and lower to actually rank them, because I would end up listening to one song, I'd put it near the bottom, but then I'd re-listen to it and I think it belongs nowhere near the bottom. As all of these album songs, this was perhaps the most difficult one to rank.
Yeah, I thought this was difficult for me too. Like you said, as soon as you were listening to one, another one would instantly pop above that, and they all made such an improvement for me in this album that it was really, really difficult to choose. I love all of these songs so much. Not that I don't love all the songs before, but these ones are all so on the same level that it's just so difficult to choose.
I found that even if it necessarily didn't become my favourite of that girl's song, I found the songs very strong and that they would always introduce... There was a new element, I think, in a lot of these songs. Now, Honey, for some reason, on my list, I have 10 songs listed, but I'm pretty sure there's only 9 girls.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's only 9.
Well, we've got our lists anyway, so let's continue, and I'm sure it'll work itself out.
Well, we'll see what happens.
At number 10, we have Margaret by Nakasu Kasumi. So, having this song at the bottom does partly break my heart, because I actually think that this is an incredibly underrated song, and I think that it gets overlooked on this album by a lot of people. It's not necessarily my favourite Kasumi song, but I still really like it. I feel that Kasumi gives off a next door girl kind of vibe in the song, especially in the outfit as well that she's got. It's a very simplistic outfit with the blue and the yellow, and it's such a different sound compared to all the other Kasumi songs. She sounds the most maturest here, and I'd also think that this is her at her most vulnerable, where she's really showing a side of her that she doesn't show to many people. It's less cutesy than her previous songs, but the new range I very much appreciate. It's melancholy, it's cheerful at the same time. If Diamond hints at her insecurities, then it's at the forefront of this song. It continues the girl in the mirror imagery of Muteki Q Believer, and this song is about her wanting to repay her debt to the listener, the support and the kindness. I do like that the song hints at her loneliness, as Kasumi bears her soul for all the audience to see.
I really enjoyed hearing Kasumi be able to talk about herself more comfortably. It almost feels at this point she's opened up to you and she's able to open up to a lot more people now. Like you were saying with being able to connect with the audience and be honest and bare and open to them. It was really nice to hear that, and it reflects really well on her story and her character. We're getting to see this side that is so cute and so sweet at the same time, but in a completely different way, a mature cuteness you could say. I love that she's being so honest and earnest about herself at this point, and I'm really enjoying that we're getting to see a more open side of Kasumi. It's still that cute, like you said, with the girl next door situation, and I actually think that this song would go perfectly for an anime ending. So in the previous Love Lives, the endings would be sung by the girls. If this could be a Kasumi song ending, that would have been perfect. This fits it so well.
The reason this is at 10, because there's so many songs, whichever song we tend to put at 10 is either going to be 10 or 9. And in the case of me, I put this at 6.
So for me, I put this at 10, but that's only because, while it does introduce like new themes, it's still similar themes, but I just really enjoyed the sound, but sadly it was really difficult, like we all said at the beginning, like it's so hard to choose, and this just so happens to end up being at 10. There's no particular reason,
The
really.
song for me has, in the sound, there's sort of like a how do you say it?
Mesmerising.
Yeah, it's sort of got like this mesmerising sound to it, which I actually really do like, and I think it plays off Kasumi's song quite well. Even if this isn't necessarily anyone's favourite, I do recommend listening to this song because I do think it's incredibly underrated. I've seen online that it seems to perhaps be the most unloved of all of the Just Believe songs. Do give it a re-listen because I think this is a really good song. At number 9, we have Like It, Love It by Yuki Setsuna.
I really loved this song. It was so energetic and so perfect for Setsuna as usual. It reminded me of a rom-com anime kind of opening when I heard it. It had such fun and it felt so jumpy and so great, and that English, those English parts of I like it, oh, and I love it. It gets so stuck in your head and I can't get it out, and I tend to find myself singing it all the time constantly. It just shows another side of Setsuna's determination for me, but an even cutesier side, so almost like if Kasumi was having seeing that maturity. We're seeing a bit more of Setsuna having a go at being a bit more cutesy. I really loved it. It was perfection for me. It was like at 4 on my list.
I put this at 10, so this was my least favourite is a strong word because I don't actually dislike this song. I actually think this song's very good. Personally, if you rate this song highly, if you put this in the 1 to 3 to 4 kind of area, based just off the performance, it does. But unfortunately for me, the song has an issue that a lot of Setsuna's follow-up songs continue to have, which is the song is really good and it hypes you up. It's a really good song. Setsuna's voice provider is one of the strongest performances. I always say this. If you really like Chase, you will love this song. The song has a nice warm message about never stop dreaming and pushing forward with what you love, but it's the same theme over and it's similar to what I said in our previous ranking with I, which was that a lot of her songs tend to have a similar feeling. I generally don't have much to say about this song because if what I've said about Chase and Melody before are quite similar. It's a good song. I do enjoy listening to it. It's very catchy. There's times where I'll be saying they like it, love it. It's one of 2 songs in this category that does get stuck in my head. I will definitely give it props there, but just for me, it just doesn't offer a new range for me. At number 8, we have Say Goodbye Namida by Uehara Ayumu, also known as Say Goodbye to My Tears. So after 3 songs, for me Ayumu has leveled up once again, and this feels like we're approaching the final form of Ayumu. She's grown and matured so much over the course of these 3 songs. The song talks of her not crying anymore and saying goodbye to those tears. She sounds so sure and triumphant. She has decided on her decision and she is committed to it. The song is upbeat and full of spirit, and I like this self-confidence that she's built up throughout her 3 songs, and especially in this song. She talks about how she won't be unreliable anymore, and this song gives her the leader energy that harkens back to Honoka and Chika. I like the beat and Ayumi plays off it quite nicely. It's a very solid song for me.
For me, I saw that she was growing too, and it was great to finally see her blossom and become her own person like you said as well. I love how upbeat it is, it sounds exciting and it makes me so happy, and she really does feel like she's growing into her own person, and she's not only thankful but she's also moving on, almost like a celebration of her growth, and I love it. I feel like Ayumi's voice is so strong here and so energetic and confident at the same time. It has really made me appreciate her even more.
It does feel she's finally taken that step forward that she mentioned in her first song. As well, this song has quite a binding, I would say, to the All-Stars, because in the storyline, her and, well, we'll call us Yu, since that's what she's called in the anime, have a bit of an argument, a bit of disagreement in the storyline, and over the course of the chapters, she feels that she needs to take her own steps, that she has to put away that unreliable and crybaby version of herself. She wants to become someone that other people can rely on, and not someone that is always relying on others. And at number 7, we have Yagate Hitotsu Monogatari by Osaka Shizuku. Finally, a single story.
If Heroine was about becoming the ideal person and Audrey was about being inspired, now Shizuku is finally building up to this final performance that she's going to show you. This whole song is a whole act and a whole play, and it's fantastic, like a musical. I love that this song changes rhythm so much, as if each chapter is giving you a new sound. From beginning, middle and end, it's so theatrical and full of sound that it has highs, lows, whimsical twists. Just before the chorus is definitely my favourite part.
Yes, I would agree. I do also agree that Heroine and Audrey, I feel, is her yearning for the stage, and this song is her actually on the stage. So I'm very glad this song exists, because it gives off musical quality, combining her actor and her idol selves. She'll be performing this, singing in between dialogue that would appear on stage. Voice goes so high but she maintains it. The humming at the start is incredibly amazing. It's absolutely wonderful on the ears, and it is such a breathtaking sound. And I really love the continued duality of her idol self and her stage self, and expressing her feelings towards the listener. It's framed like a theatre performance, and the spotlight truly shines on her in this song. It's just not a song that I would listen to in my spare time, so that's why on my list I put it at 8.
On my list it was slap bang at 5, so right in the middle. So I really enjoyed it, but also it's just so difficult, and I felt that while it does show this amazing side of Shizuku, if the tone of the song had been a bit more upbeat instead of low tempo, I probably would have put it a bit more higher for me.
Shizuku in a musical, I'm glad it exists. At number 6, we have Tanoshino Tensai by Miyashita Ai, the genius of fun. So I had this at 5, And one thing I want to get out of the way is I actually really love the title of this song. Genius of Fun is such a unique, and I think it's just a really cool title. And I think this song actually best amplifies who I is as a person. It's loud and boisterous, and it's full of cheering you up. The song itself in the lyrics is about I cheering you up. So while it does share a similar theme to her previous songs, which is a criticism I had, I feel that this one does differentiate it just a little bit. I is that person in your friend group that's always the first one to cheer someone up, or when the mood is down, she's always the one that makes sure that everyone is having fun, and that song essentially personifies it. It's very catchy. Once this song gets in your head, you won't be able to not hear it. It's not my favourite on this album, but it is the one that I usually end up humming or getting caught in my head. The song does actually introduce some vulnerability to Ai's character, but I also appreciate that she just uses that as fuel to improve.
So I really loved her rapping in this. She was so energetic. She really had such a fun voice that can really get you dancing. She's like the perfect idol, all puns, cute, and also showing this slight sadder side that we got to see here. Ai is always such a bundle of fun, and it's great to see her trying to cheer everyone up again, which is her personality. But she surprisingly shows so much emotion. So when she says kirai, which is hate, in the song, she seamlessly sounds so sad and shows so much vulnerability there, and then instantly bounces back to her happy voice, which is so good to hear, and it gives her so much emotion. Really nice to see how versatile she is here.
At number 5, we have Firebird by Asuka Karen.
I love how festive this song is. It feels so passionate and yet so romantic at the same time. It really suits Karen's mature voice, and it deals with such mature themes. I could just imagine Karen's swift and sexy movements when I was listening to this song before we saw the PV, and it just enthralled me and almost took my breath away. It definitely suits Karen. I feel like she really owns this song. It's hers and hers alone, and I don't feel like anyone could ever do these kind of themes. It's so fast and yet so slow, and the romance and the swift and the heartbreak, it's so very Karen.
I'm much downer on this song because I actually had this at 9. I love the cultural Spanish feel that it adds to the song. I always like any foreign sounding being brought into lovelive. The guitar strings, the clapping, it feels very festive, and the song feels burning, and the instrumental is very strong here. My favourite part is easily Karen playing off the clapping, easily the highlight of the song for me. I don't know if it's just me, but Karen feels very breathy here, especially in the faster parts of the songs. It almost feels like she's struggling to keep up with the song, but it's just a small niggle. On the slower parts though, she actually does sound really good, and the lyrics are quite suggestive. They're very explicit, letting go of inhabilitations. It's quite an intimate song. At number 4, we have Analog Heart by Tennojirina. I absolutely love this song by Rina. I've been very critical of her songs in the past. The instrumentals would tend to overpower her, but Rina is absolutely adorable here. I love the beep boops. It gives off for me like a virtual singer touch in this one, or a VTuber feeling, especially in the lyrics as well as in her singing. And it's got such an arcade retro feel to it. She's absolutely adorable here. I love the music. Her instrumentals are always strong. It's just whether she's been able to play off them. And I feel that here she is at her most harmonious with the song. As well, I love the lyrics as well. That idea of clearing a level and unlocking passwords as a metaphor for connecting with an individual. It's amazing that all her songs have very similar themes, however they're all told slightly differently, which is something I very much appreciate.
So for me, the beginning literally sounds a game booting up.
Oh yes.
It's so cute. She sounds just like a Vocaloid here, and it gives me such... This song also, with it having the retro beat, also as a Vocaloid fan, it gives you almost a nostalgia for like old Vocaloid songs as well. She's so cutesy and energetic here, and I really love the gaming themes and the techno. It was a sure bet for Rina that this was gonna be her best song for me here. However, I did put it quite low on my list, but that's just because these songs were hard. I think it was like 7 on my list.
I had it at 3, and this is easily my favourite Rina song at the moment. There's just something about Rina's songs that I think would just easily adapt to making music videos. If I could just pick one of the girls to have music videos for all their songs, it would be Rina's. Just because I could imagine they'd be so fun and energetic, and I can just see the creativity that would go into them. At number 3, we have Eon no Uta by Verde, The Song of Sorrow.
With the previous Emma songs, I've had a problem with either the beginning and the middle parts of the song or the chorus, but at this point, they finally met perfectly in the middle. Emma here has such raw power and it feels so strong, and the sound is also soft at the same time. It just belts out such passion throughout, but especially at the chorus. I finally feel Emma has been given her time to shine in this song, and it complements her voice so well. This slowing it down for her has really worked in her favour. Instead of trying to go for really big, belted out, passionate, big songs, this one is the same but a bit more slower instead, and I think it lends into her voice actress's singing here.
I knew that Emma's voice actor, Chunrun, was a very good singer. I knew this since Evergreen, but this side of Emma that's shown in this song it's like a side of her that I never thought we would see. And this is such a fascinating song for me because I was always interested in bringing foreign style music into lovelive. Here we have the foreigner character embracing the more Japanese style, and I really liked Emma's voice before, but where was she hiding all this talent? When she hits those high notes, it is unbelievable, and not only does she hit them, her voice flows and never misses a beat. She makes it sound so effortless. This is a new side of Emma that it gives me similar to Audrey and Diamond vibes that I had in previous songs, that I was so sure that this was going to be my number one. This is actually my number two, but still, this is such an impressive song. I love as well that the lyrics are very Japanese folktale, but it retains Emma's kind of nurturing nature that she'll always be there. In a way, if her previous song, Sunagoyo, was sort of that Western take on the big sister, this is the Japanese era folk song. Feels like there's wind blowing in the background. She's singing this in a forest almost. It's such an amazing song. It tells such a great story. In the instrumentals, in her voice performance, it is such a great song.
It sends you through shivers. It's so powerful it affects all of your body.
Yeah, this song is something special. It gives me, for me, my Diamond or Audrey vibes of seeing just a whole new aspect of the character. At number 2, we have Marching Star by Konoe Kanata, Fairy Tale Star. This is such a strange song for me. When I first listened to this song, I thought this was actually going to be at the bottom. Listening to it many times, there is something about it which is, I can't fully understand why this song actually works for me, because it's such a weird oxymoron of a song. It's so noisy with so many different sounding instruments, and yet next to Kanata's soft sleepy voice, it's almost like magic on the ears. It's a real earworm of a song. It's weird that the instrumentals are so busy, and yet it just adds to the alluring nature. I feel like with anyone else this would be a detriment, and yet Kanata just plays off it perfectly. The chorus is something special and enchanting, and especially when Kanata goes into it. These last two songs by Kanata have really changed my mind on her performance after I was a little cold on her first song. She's gone up so much in my estimations, and this one continues the theme of my own fairy tale about casting a spell onto an individual and then sending them to the land of dreams. In the former, she admits to her selfish wish, but here it is like she's doing it benevolently.
When I first heard the song, it wasn't rated high, but listening to it again and again, it eventually sent me into like a trance. It bewitched me. Every little tiny sound pulls you deeper, the clock ticking, the sparkling noises, and then the violin. It hits you and keeps you enchanted. For at least me. I love it. It sounds like something out of a musical, so theatrical. It really makes you sway to Kanata's magic rhythm in this song. She's lulling me to her world. I feel that every second of magic. It's like she's singing this lullaby to her sister to almost pull her into this world and keep her relaxed and calm.
So I had this at 4, where did you have it?
I had this at my number 1. This was actually my favourite. Which actually really surprised me because usually I don't rate Kanata very high. But this one, it was just something about it that had me. Like I said, she completely bewitched me here. With her card, obviously, you find out that she's a witch. It fits so perfectly. She took everything that I thought.
So I put this at 4. And as you've seen in how I've described this song, is I'm still not even fully sure if I'm in love with it or not. So I think I prefer My Own Fairy Tale just because that's a song I definitely know I like. But there is something very special about this song. It's perhaps the most unique song of the bunch. Now that's really strange because Marching Star was number 2, and yet for some reason we've gone through all the girls.
We needed number 1.
That is strange. Well, I guess we'll wrap up here.
それは認められません。
And at number 1, we have Ketsuyo Hikari by Mifune Shioriko, The Light of determination.
Welcome, newcomer Mifune, and what a welcome it has been. This song is so elegant, yet it has such attitude. Light of determination, I can feel that determination in this song. It's so nice to see Mifune and what she's bringing to the table here. This feels like such a strong start for her, like she already leaped right to the halfway through the running mark. This fiery sound to her, and she has such a strong voice here that this fire really suits her. It's so passionate, and we can feel that hope and almost this desperation in that as well. She wants to understand, and she's got this yearning here, and I can feel every bit of passion and feeling that she has in this song.
I knew her voice actress, Moapi, was incredibly talented from Reverie Starlight, and I knew that she would put in a good song. For me, I did not think that she would get number one straight away, and for me, this is such a blow-away song. I knew she had it in her, but this was something special. I love the beginning. It was almost like she was throwing her sword into the ground and telling the others that she's not playing around and she will steal the show if she can. Shioriko is starting her journey with this song, but she doesn't come off as nervous in the slightest. She's well prepared, she's organised, it fits her personality perfectly, and she carves out her niche nicely in this debut song, with an oriental traditional touch with heavy rock in the background. I could see the camera zooming in on the intro bit of the song, and then as it hits to her vocals, the camera finally focusing on Shioriko. I love the sound. The sound of this song is amazing. I love Japanese style music, as you could tell with the Emma song, but this is something really wonderful. Again, it's got that kind of foresty feel to it, and I also love that this song in a way tells her story from the All-Stars game. The problems she faced with the club, her overcoming her doubts and hesitations, and deciding to perform and starting to change. The song, in my opinion, tells quite a similar story to Ayumu's first song, which I think was intentional because Ayumu and her form quite a strong bond over the course of the story, and I also really love the line taking the story to the next stage because it feels very meta with her joining the club. Even her putting her hair up in the song feels very Shioriko-esque. She's someone who would not overlook anything, and I love how it feels like she's asking the listener to trust her, believe in her, and that she will prove that she can shine on the stage with the rest of the club. It's such a really, really good song. I absolutely love the story.
I love it too. And then if you actually consider this one and then comparing it with Aya no Yuta, the idea that they both have these oriental themes, but I actually think if you listen to them both, they complement each other perfectly. So we have this slow, intimate, passionate song via Emma, and then this deep, determined, strong, passionate fire from Mifune here. They both suit each other so well, and I think that that's what almost makes these songs shine above. They all complement each other so well, and I think that's what the problem we had with ranking these. But with Mifune, it was such a strong start for her that I think that's why it became my number one here.
So Shioriko is, in her personality, she's sort of that traditional Japanese lady, or at least she's striving to be it, similar to Umi. And you can clearly hear it in this song, but the passion that she sings with it is amazing. She retains that traditional beauty, but there's also something unrestrained and unreleased with this song. It feels broken away from chains that she puts herself in the story, with the idea that she doesn't want to be a school idol because of her older sister, and that she definitely doesn't want to do this, and it just feels like she shattered those chains and she's just poured it all out into this first song, and it's just an amazing start to her journey. I just can't wait to hear another Shioriko song. And that concludes our ranking. Our lists tend to look fairly similar. We'll differ in some parts, but generally I think we tend to agree quite a lot. But I think this is the first list where a lot of our rankings differed greatly.
With some of the songs you were sold on, I wasn't so sold on. Some of them I really loved and you were not as hot on them as me. So it was really interesting to see this diversity that they've brought into us.
And I do want to say as well that if you disagree with our rankings, that is completely fine. And as I've said on our previous videos, I'm always open. If you would like to put your own rankings down, feel free. I'd love to see what other people put. I love to see how passionate people are about their specific idols.
I love seeing what everyone thought of these songs and being able to be like, oh, I never really thought of that when I was listening to this song. It's so nice to see these different perspectives that other people give. So I really want to see other people's rankings.
Whichever song that you put at number one, or whichever is your favourite song, is, I wouldn't be able to disagree.
Exactly, yeah, they're all fantastic. I mean, well, for you put Light of Determination as number one, and then on mine was March End Star, which you weren't even too sure on. You still
yeah, it's a song that I still think to this very day.
So it's such it's interesting how much differentiation this album's brought to us.
We don't really talk about the group songs on these solo rankings, but I will say that Just Believe is an incredibly great song. I really, really like it.
I loved it.
I prefer Mirai Harmony, but it sits comfortably at number 2 for me as their group songs.
This one's my favourite so far. This one is my favourite.
Thank you very much for listening to us ramble about another solo song ranking.
I really enjoyed this and it made me feel so happy, and it also makes me feel so happy that other people want to listen to us too. So thank you very much once again.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Bye bye.